WNST here. We are hopping across the pond for that little football game they're playing over at Wembley this week. We're throwing a party on Saturday from 11 until 3 at the Fox at XL in the Docklands area. Jump off the tube at the Royal Victoria, and we're right around the corner. You can find us, of course, streaming out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram. And back here, they will be playing baseball games, and one of the team's fan bases will be engaged. That is for sure. I'm not going to talk a lot of Red Sox this week. I didn't catch up with Trenny Kusnierek a couple of weeks ago when the Orioles and the Red Sox were doing their thing. They're back at it again this week. One of us will be busy watching playoff baseball next month with our feet up. That would be me. And the other will have to stay up late watching games to talk about. She hosts the early edition from 6 till 8 at CSNNE. That's CSN New England up there in New England. But she's not a real chowder. She's more of like a bratwurst curd Wisconsinner. So she's got Packers fever while she talks about Patriot fever at this point. We welcome Trenny Kusnierek back onto the program. It's Red Sox fever. It's always Red Sox season up there, though, right?
Yeah, I will say, though, yesterday, because the Patriots played at 1 o'clock and so did the Red Sox, I kind of forgot about the Red Sox. Like, did not watch a single second of the Red Sox game on Sunday because I was like, well, you know, it's football season. And my guess is, especially the injuries that the Patriots suffered yesterday, the amount of Red Sox we'll talk about today, maybe one segment. The rest will be Patriots.
Well, and that's the way it is once they kick the football.
I can't get on a recap and some highlights.
But that's the story of America, right? Once they kick the football off, baseball becomes back page even in places where things are going well. I mean, you know, we're down the street from Washington. They have high hopes, and I would think the same things in Houston, that, you know, that's still a football state. Even in New England, the Patriots are still big business, and obviously the way they lost the first game, they needed to respond and sort of punch back this weekend, and at least they did. They held serve, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Patriots looked much better. I know we wanted to talk. Wow, that was a really quick Patriots talk. Red Sox talk. You know, they did a nice job. I'm going to be a little harder probably on the Patriots than I should be. They did a nice job against the Saints. They obviously did what they were supposed to do. Huge props to the coaching staff for finding a way to completely make adjustments and I don't know what happened I don't know what they were thinking week 1 against Kansas City, but they made all the necessary adjustments to move the offense around, kind of make it go through. They use, in the early parts of the game, they use Rex Burkhead and James White as sort of that Julian Edelman type slot receiver. And then they got good performances. The big thing was Rob Gronkowski was back, and he created mismatches and opened up other guys. So that was the big thing. But the reason I'm sort of, you know, not necessarily jumping up and down and saying, yay, now they're going to go 15-1. We all thought they might go 19-0, and now it's 18-1 en route to the Super Bowl, is one, yeah, congratulations, you beat the Saints. Like, you know, it's like high schoolers on their defense right now. And two, to me, that game felt like a loss because Rob Gronkowski went down with an injury, and they're calling it a groin, but I didn't see him limping. And he had a look on his face on the sideline that suggested, oh no, my back, in which I've had 3 surgeries, is bothering me again. So even when they came out and said groin, I was like, liars, it's his back. Rex Burkhead has ribs. Chris Hogan was limping around the entire time because he hurt his right leg. Philip Dorsett went into the blue tent afterwards, and Eric Rowe, the cornerback, also had to be helped off the field. And Malcolm Butler, for whatever reason, has fallen out of favor. So to me, even though they won that game yesterday, I don't necessarily feel great about this team going into Houston next Sunday.
Well, certainly the defense got exposed in the first week, and I thought Breeze would have a better run at them. And look, the whole league's an infirmary now. I mean, we lost Yonda on Sunday. You know, week by week for every one of these teams. You look at the schedule. I remember, the old guy in me would look at the schedule and say, well, you know, they got Pittsburgh in week 12. Who knows who's going to be under center in Pittsburgh or anywhere next week, let alone 6, 8, 10 weeks from now. The complexions of all of these these teams change the minute an Edelman goes down, the minute that you think Gronkowski's not going to be out there to create mismatches, that week to week, it really is about who's on the field. And I don't know how Vegas keeps up with all this this injury report stuff. And I can't imagine that you would ever accuse the Patriots of lying to you, Trenny, that we all know the Patriots never lie about anything, right?
No, they never make anything up at all. Why would they talk about Rob Gronkowski's back and it's the big issue that it possibly can be and has been in years past? And listen, I'm not the only one. I kind of thought it yesterday, but Tommy Kern, who's my colleague at CSN, wrote a column. I don't know if it was late last night or if he published it early this morning. I saw it this morning. He published a column that talked about how he was watching the game and the way that he saw Gronkowski get up, and he basically exposed it and said, I don't believe for a second this is a groin. And this is a guy who was in New Orleans, who's covered the Patriots for a long time. So if Tom, and he's kind of, I don't want to say, he's careful about what he says to the Patriots because you try to protect your sources and stuff, right? So for him to go out on a limb and say that to me, say that in an article says to me that, yeah, the groin was a really nice excuse, but we all know that's not what really happened.
Well, if he doesn't get to the field, I don't know that it matters one way or another. And certainly they got home cooking in the next couple of weeks. The Patriots hosting Houston this week and then Carolina next week as the Ravens go over to London. Trenny Kusnierek joining us here from CSN New England. You can follow her at Trenny, that's TRENNI, out on Twitter, and tens of thousands do. I wanted to talk baseball with you, but I mean, the baseball part of it from our end is all about these kids that we want to see bat for the next 10 days. I don't know what you garner from that, or certainly for me, the biggest story around here is going to be Machado in the offseason, Britton, but above and beyond that, what happens with Buck and Duquette? And all of that starts here, like literally now, where, you know, what's starting for you is, well, who's starting game one and who are we playing and who's the final wild card going to be? And it's a whole different level of preparation, and especially for places like Cleveland where they've just won for a month in a row and they're just expected to run through this like hot butter next month. I know that when game one begins for all of these playoff series, that what you did in August, what you did in May, none of that stuff's going to matter.
No, but I think that what Cleveland is doing is different. I mean, what Cleveland is doing, I mean, the way that they're running through these teams, and I know they've got their 22-game win streak snapped over the, over the weekend, but like, let's be honest here. In order to win 22 in a row, you have it's more than just it's partially things just kind of going your way, but it's also like mentally getting through a grind, not having the pressure of that streak get to you. And they lost. I think their loss was 4-3 to Kansas City. To me, right now, Cleveland is the team to beat, and they were the team to beat. Really, I mean, a lot of people looked at the Red Sox because of the acquisition of Chris Sale in the offseason as the team in the AL, like they were going to go to the World Series. I still sort of looked at Cleveland as that team because they were right there. Obviously, they were an extra innings game away against the Cubs from winning the World Series. And they're, unlike the Red Sox, their pitching has come on late, and rather than it sort of tailed off, it has picked up. Whereas if you look at the Red Sox, Nestor, Chris Sale, he's a great pitcher. Do not get me wrong. The guy is a Cy Young candidate. He's unbelievable. But his, I guess, Achilles heel is September, August and September. He has his highest ERA in September. He gives up the highest number of home runs in September, and he has started to struggle in September. He has shown some signs, of fatigue. You can't have fatigue going into October, particularly when you're only going to have David Price out of the bullpen. Drew Pomeranz, who I think has been a pleasant surprise, but he throws he's a high volume pitcher, so usually you've got to take him out of there by the fifth or sixth inning. Do you trust Rick Porcello? I don't. Do you trust Doug Fister? Not really sure that I do. Certainly don't trust Eduardo Rodriguez. So now when you start to look at the Red Sox and this vaunted, rotation that they put together, to me, I am far more concerned about that Cleveland rotation. And even with the addition of Justin Verlander in Houston, I don't know. Maybe I seem down on New England teams today. I just think that, especially with the Sox, there's some smoke and mirrors.
She is Trinity Kuzniak. She's up in New England. The Red Sox the Orioles entertaining the Red Sox here this week. And we're headed to London. We're doing the football thing, but I'm doing a little bit of baseball here this week. And I do want to say to you, the Red Sox-Yankees thing, the Red Sox, they're going to coast into this thing, and they're going to get the bye, so to speak. It's tough sledding for the Yankees to have 9 innings to see. I guess it'll be Minnesota. It might be the Angels. All the rest of the teams have gotten out of the way. But the Red Sox have at least put themselves into a position here where they're going to see probably Cleveland right away.
No, they'll probably see, actually, Nestor, the way it looks right now, they'll probably see Houston.
They'll see Houston right now. That's correct.
At Houston, because it looks like, Cleveland has just jumped ahead. I think at last check, I think they at least had a 3 or 4 game lead on Houston for the best record. So they'll be the 1 seed.
It's 2 as of Monday, yes.
Yeah. It's only 2 games as of Monday?
Yeah, well, yeah, but
I still,
go ahead.
Okay, so it could be either Cleveland or Houston. If you're a Sox fan, you probably prefer Houston because you just don't look at their pitching or their bullpen and get as nervous as you do when you look at Cleveland. And they play, and here's the thing, so they have 4, the Red Sox finished their season with 4 games against the Astros. That's how their season finishes out. So not only is that series going to be huge for the Red Sox, that series is going to be huge for Cleveland because obviously they're going to want, I think they're going to want the Red Sox to win those games so that they can have, home field throughout through the ALCS. So there's a lot of things, and you say, the Yankees will certainly, they'll host the wild card team, whichever wild card team is. As of right now, it's only a 3-game separation between the Red Sox and the Yankees to the AL East with 13 to go. Now that, you look at it and you say, okay, obviously the Red Sox, they've maintained it all year. They're not going to, piss it away. But to me, again, you just never know with this team. And there's no head-to-head competition.
Yeah, how about this, man? How about the Red Sox playing the Reds this week? Right.
Right.
It's.
Well, that's just the crap. That's just such crummy scheduling on part of baseball. I don't know why you would ever. I know now with interleague like this happens, and this isn't just a Red Sox thing. I just think this is a stupid baseball thing. I don't want to see interleague play in September at all. I just don't. To me, once you get to September, it should be high volume of divisional play and in league play, not interleague play, because it takes away baseball, which already struggles with ratings and interest and drama. There's no drama in Red Sox Reds. It's just dumb. Sometimes I don't know who's running things over there.
Well, you say the NFL has done that now with the division games at the end of the year, and it's certainly, I guess to my point, it's the war of attrition. Whoever's standing in week 15 and 16 and 17 in your division. By the way, I know you're truly a Wisconsinner and a Packer and a cheesehead at heart. The Brewers gave it a pretty good little run here so far this year. Not going to get there, I don't think, but they gave it a little run.
Yeah, it was a pleasant surprise. I haven't gotten to, I will say I was watching a game that they had a few weeks ago. I think actually, coincidentally, not ironically, coincidentally, it was against the Reds, and they had a 7-2 lead or a 5-2 lead, and they choked it up in the 9th, and I'm walking through our newsroom, and I had this look on my face. And one of my producers was like, what did I? And then he looked up over his shoulder. He's like, oh, you're not mad at me. You're mad at the Brewers. And I was like, bleeping, stupid bleeps. Because I was so mad that they, picked away a game. But again, I can't get too mad. They way exceeded expectations. No one in a million years would have thought that they were even going to be competitive this year. So at least they made it interesting. At least they made it fun. Would I like to see them win? Sure. Would it be nice if they could overtake the Cubs? Obviously, because I hate the Cubs. But the fact that they were even in it, to me, I hope is a sign that maybe the rebuild could go a little more quickly than we thought.
I'm still mad at every Brewers fan from 1982, Trenny. So that's
all right. I'm still mad at every Cardinals fan from 1982. So we're even.
All right, perfect.
We both hate somebody from 1982. We're both holding a grudge.
Well, I let go of the Indianapolis Colts thing. I sort of buried that one because that was just too much aggression to carry around for the rest of my life. That bag got heavy. She is Trenny Kuzniak. She does all things sports up in New England, despite being a Midwesterner. Anything you want to say about the Packers before we go? go because I've talked to Red Sox and the Patriots, and our people are sick of that, and we're going to London this week. But you're licking your wounds here this week with the Packers thing. That wasn't a good effort Sunday night. Yeah.
No. But I was like, sweet Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. I can watch them play. This will be so awesome. I'll turn them on after Ken Burns' Vietnam. Yeah, I watch PBS and I love it. And I turn it on and I'm like, oh, wow. After last week, the great defensive effort, and I was psyched about this defense, and I thought, okay, maybe finally they have the personnel on defense. Maybe they finally turned the corner. All right, here we go. And then they played the Falcons, and they just gave up. Devontae Freeman just ran all over the place, and Julio Jones, even though he didn't get into the end zone, was all over the place. And I was like, oh, here we are again. Guys that can't cover, guys that can't tackle. And I got ticked off Nestor, and I turned on the end.
Well, it was 31-7 at like 9:45, on a Sunday night.
Yeah. So when it was 31-7 was when I was like, you know what? You don't deserve my attention and my love, Packers. I am turning you off. And I know they came back. In fact, I need to check my fantasy score. I haven't checked it this morning. I was up by mere tenths of a point last night. So I'm sort of hopeful that held. That's the only thing that will make my week better is if I won my fantasy.
Well, you know what's made my week better? First off, we're going to London this week, but the Ravens are 2-0. And there really is something, you're up in New England, you're a Packers fan, you're used to being good. We're kind of used to being good around here, but we haven't had a whole lot of 2-0 flights across the Atlantic Ocean to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, interest is up around here. The purple flag is in the thumbs up here in Baltimore right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, Harbaugh's a good coach, man, and I've always thought that Flacco gets a lot of slack, no pun intended.
He does
for not, he's more than just a game manager. He's a good quarterback, and at times I think they just haven't had the right pieces around him. So I go Baltimore. I don't hate. You don't have any hate for the Ravens.
That's right, because you cover the Patriots. You know what their fans are like, so. All right, well, Trini, always good to catch up with you. We do it 2 or 3 times a year, whether we need to or not, and, maybe a little hockey chatter or something like that once the Caps get rolling, but no?
Oh, I could try. I'm probably a little better on the NBA chatter than I am on the hockey. I would say hockey of my 4 sports is a distant 4.
But you do all sorts of aren't you like a curling specialist?
Well, I mean, I would use that term specialist loosely. I cover curling for NBC.
See, and you and I...
And by cover curling, I mean, that's the sport they assigned to me in the Olympic years.
But hang on, you're from Wisconsin. Have you not, at some point in your life, broken out the brush and beer and pizza? Because I've never done that, right?
No,
So, No?
Only once when I covered a story. I've never actually, curled, gone out and been like, hey, everybody, let's go curling.
Is that like a Stevens Point thing? That's not like a Milwaukee thing at all? They don't do that in Waukesha?
It's more like good call. It is more. Actually, the USA Curling is based out of Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
I just guessed.
I will say this, though. It's an honor always to go to the Olympics, and curling is a super fun, weird sort of cult classic, for lack of a better term, during the Olympics. People really love it. A lot of people watch it. They get into it for those, 3 weeks every 4 years. So I'm psyched to go to South Korea. I am psyched to cover curling, and it'll be awesome.
Well, let me just give you my one curling story, okay? Because I've been on the radio 25 years here. Every 4 years, the Olympics come on. Inevitably, curling winds up on my television. And inevitably, I think, well, that looks like fun. I would want to do that. But there's nowhere for me to do that. There is a curling facility.
Oh, I bet you'd be surprised.
No. I found this out. There's a curling facility in Easton, Maryland. They have invited me over. And the pre-Olympic something PR something in D.C. had a something thing that I got a PR sheet on about 8 years ago. I literally got in my car, drove down, and only found out when I got there that they didn't have a real curling ice sheet set up. It was fake curling. I walked out. It cost me $20 to park the car. It was in downtown D.C. I walked out, and Trenny, as I sit here today, as a halfway grown man, I still have never, ever curled. I want to curl. I want to drink beer. I want to do it with hardy Midwesterners that are very cold, wearing sort of Yukon Jack, lumberjack sort of thing, sort of flannelly thing. And I want to do it with someone like you that understands it a little bit, that can teach me. I mean, I want to do it, but where am I going to go?
Maybe we can get the Hamilton family, with the Becca and Matt Hamilton, who are a mixed hopefully, fingers crossed, they win the mixed doubles trials in December in Blaine, Minnesota, and go over to, they're from Madison. They are charismatic. They love football. They throw the football around before their curling matches, and they are exactly what you're talking about. They will drink beer, they will eat pizza, and they will curl with you. If we could get that done, it'd be the coolest thing ever.
Well, we are playing the Green Bay Packers in November, so if we could set up some curling around that weekend.
When in November, though? When in November?
Third week in November. Third week in November.
I think that might be when Olympic trials are.
It's
happening.
the weekend before Thanksgiving, if that matters.
That's the Olympic trials for curling, but you can see them in between watching football. You can watch them on NBCS.
But I'll be in the heart of curling country, though, right? Though I'll be in Green Bay when it's going on, and you're broadcasting it.
No, their trials are in Omaha.
Omaha, okay. Omaha, that's Peyton Manning, a whole
Omaha,
different story.
home of the Olympic trial. They have a lot of Olympic trials there.
All right, Trenny, well, enjoy yourself in Omaha. If I need to get a steak there, you can give me a recommendation, okay?
You have fun in London.
We shall. Big Ben and over the River Thames. We're going to do it all. Hopefully, the big story here would be 3-0 on the flight back. That's the big hope around here. And, of course, the big hope here is that the Red Sox lose in 2 games. I know that's not possible, but we don't like the Red Sox around here, Trenny.
That's okay. I don't think anybody up here likes the Orioles, so we're all even.
Next year. It's always next year around here. I've been saying that since 1983. Be well, Trenny. We'll see you soon.
All right, thanks, Nestor.
Trenny Kuznarek, she does all things sports up in New England for Comcast Sports New England and CSNNE.com. You can find her simply at Trenny. That's TRENNI. You might be familiar with her work from baseball of years past as well as NFL work. She's now in Boston. Orioles and the Red Sox, Jacksonville in London. We're all heading over. We'll have to see you at 11 o'clock on Saturday. We're going to be at the Fox at XL. It's a sports pub off the Royal Victoria Stop. We're going to be taking the Emirates Air cable car over the River Thames to the O2 Arena where Led Zeppelin once played. The only place Led Zeppelin's played in this century, the O2 Arena. So great entertainment complex, beer, food, pints, fish and chips, mushy peas, and probably some of the best Indian food you've ever had as well. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook, as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. And, of course, we'll be hitting the tube as well as other things on our little Facebook Lives all week long from over there. So if you see us pop up, wave to us, say hello. If you got friends coming over, tell them to join us on Saturday. The Buy a Toyota Audio Vault is there 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We are WNST.net. AM 1570 at WNST Towson, Baltimore. We have hay fever, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports